Good morning. This is Joe on Gravity. It's a little dark, but I'm going to record one of my favorite roads. I'll probably do this a few times across Dallas as I talk a little bit about my experience learning how to ride and learning how to ride in Dallas and some of the roads that I've found that are pretty fun. Today I'm going to do Clarendon, so I'm going to start over on Vernon and Illinois, which turns into Tyson, and then I'm going to go east on Clarendon. I'll do a little loop, not my normal loop, but I'll do a little loop so that I can come back west on Clarendon. So today we're highlighting Clarendon. I'll show you some other loops too, down Beckley, into downtown, across the bridge. I'll also take Illinois out to Mountain Creek and some of the roads down there. Some really pretty places to ride. So I'll take you some places that I think are really pretty to ride, but I'll also take you some places that that I think are just fun roads. Today is fun road number 1, probably my favorite road. And as I said, it's Clarendon. And it's Clarendon from Corinth, which is another really fun road, all the way over to Tyson. This is also my first time using the head cam, so we'll see what I think. I usually prefer mounting my GoPro on the motorcycle. It gives a really nice perspective of the road, and then I don't have to deal with the extra weight. But I wanted to give this a shot, so I have my new headset mounted inside the helmet and the GoPro on my Shoei GTR2 helmet. This is part 1 of fun coming towards Clarendon from the south. Traffic is going to mess with it a little bit, but we've got this nice little loop here where you can, if you're so inclined, really gun it down that hill and then come over here and use the hill to slow down upon approaching the tracks here. I should really do this on a weekend morning when there's not anybody around, because it's a really fun road and a lot of these cars are just gonna sort of mess with my momentum. So I might just wait a little bit unless that car is gonna get up to speed. Yeah, unfortunately that's that. You'll notice that this road has some rough spots, usually in the middle, so I usually try to stay in LP3 and LP1 most of the way. Well, that's what happens. Morning traffic. But trust me, when there isn't a car in front of you, those little twisties are super fun. So crossing Zang, there's construction going on here, so it's always a little bit of a mess. They're doing construction on Beckley as well. But the good thing is, once we get here, it opens up and we've got ourselves a 2-lane road that we can have some fun with. I really don't like passing people on the right, but if they're gonna, you know, sometimes you just kind of have to. I'm kind of just following the dart. Here's the next station. There's one light here that I almost always get stuck at on Ewing. But not for too long. And as you can see, there's a pedestrian that has crossed the road once and is now going back. This is a pretty nice new road here. It just has some little hills and some little left to rights and so forth. This part's always fun. But as always, there's traffic, so gotta be cautious. And this is cool. This is where the bridge is gone, but you can see the pillars. It's pretty neat. Normally here I would go right on Corinth, which is a pretty fun road. But for your amusement today, I'm going to go left. Assuming that this light picks me up. There's times when this is like one of the only lights that sometimes doesn't find me, and I have to politely wait for another car to show up to trigger the light, or just sometimes I go to the right, find a place to loop around. My hope is that it finds me and knows that I'm here pretty soon. And then I'm gonna just loop around and do Clarendon again from the other direction. Hopefully this time between Beckley and Tyler there's no cars. I'm not optimistic. You see that light just changed, but this one's just doing the same thing. It really doesn't see motorcycles. I'll probably do this again when it's light out so you can see how pretty this is. This is really beautiful to come across. You got downtown over there on the left. We're coming over the Trinity. This is one of 3 bridges that I take. I'll take the one Zang and Jefferson collide and go across into downtown. That's the easiest way into downtown for me. This is Corinth coming across. And then there's also Keist. So sometimes I'll take a right on Corinth, it turns into Lancaster. I'll take that down until I hit Kais. I'll go left and head east, northeast, and eventually do a little loop. Stay on that road until it combines with a couple of other roads. Take a right on Holmes, take a right on Pennsylvania, go back down to Botham Jean, and then you can connect up to this road right up here. We're dealing with some morning traffic, so hey, it is what it is. At least I get to test my head cam and show you a couple loops. Nobody's usually on this road. This is Cockrell. You've got some pickup trucks and semis. This is my way around. There's some spots to avoid here though where it's pretty rough. And now I'm just going to come back. I'm still in my warm-up phase of the morning, so I'm not really ready to let it out. I'll wait till it's a little lighter. For now, I'll just putz around. So, practicing. I mean, I've got over 1,100 miles on this bike now. Things I've been practicing lately: getting up to interstate speeds, finding neutral. It got a lot easier after the break-in period. Finding neutral did. And I try to pick my lights where I know it's a longer light. If I know it's a longer light and I'm going to be there for a while, I like to go ahead and flip it into neutral. Okay, so as we come up on this is Riverfront, and now we're going to go across the bridge again. If you really want to enjoy Clarendon at its finest, approach it from the north, heading south, as I am on Corinth right now, going across the chasm. Or you can take 8th, and if you're going east on 8th, you can take a right and then an immediate right onto Clarendon. But I'll show you why this is fun, assuming that I hit these lights. I'm going against traffic now, so it should be, this part I'm not surprised there's no traffic, but coming up here there will be traffic. So 8th, not a problem. You better see me. You better see me. God, I hate people sometimes. That worked out fine. Although I don't like cars pulling out like that. But as you can see, when you're coming from the north, you just kind of swing over and boom, you're on Clarendon. It's a nice little hop over. And then you get to have some fun on these nice new roads. I like to stay in this lane in LP3 for this part, just to avoid cars, but there are some intersections here, so once I get to about here, I pull over and I just want to have a better view of what's going on. And I ride this road, I don't know, every day that I ride pretty much. I've been given a small treat. The cars that were ahead of me got through the light and I did not, so I am stuck here. But at least I'm going to be the first one to go. So this carries forward. Like I said, I always end up stuck here at Ewing. But Clarendon continues with its loops. And it's for me just a really fun road. So if you want to be in like 4th gear, going around 35 and practice your counter steering, Clarendon's a great road for that. It's really fun. You get some hills between Beckley and Corinth. And then one of the loops that I like to do is, depending on the day, I'll take Clarendon over to Corinth. I'll take Corinth down to Illinois, and then I'll head west on Illinois out to the lake. I'm at the point now where I'm not really worried about stalling the bike and things like that. This is the Dallas Zoo over to the right, so if you're wondering, what are all those lights? That's what they are. So as we go through here, this is again coming up here on Beckley where there's some construction. I'm hoping to hit this light, but I never really do. Other things I'm practicing is just smooth shifting. I've been riding for a while now, but at the same time, I'm only at, 11,000. No, sorry, 1100. Well, this is just dumb. I'm gonna have to re-record this because I'm behind a car again, and it's just not fun. So as much as I want to give you a tour of Clarendon, basically I'm just giving you a tour of traffic. Ooh, look, traffic. Ooh, look, traffic. Anyway, I just have over 1,000 miles on my first motorcycle, so I'm still gonna make some mistakes in my shifting, for example. So you'll see, I know where all the bumps are. So on this way through, I'm normally would be going a lot faster, but that's fine. From here, I'll just putz around town. I'm always cautious here because, again, you gotta watch for cars that might not realize that there's a turn, and if they don't stay in their lane, you could get clipped. That is a concern that I have. But again, I've ridden on this long enough that bouncy, bouncy. Ridden on this long enough that I generally know where the bumps are, and I can stand up on my pegs a little bit and let the bike absorb them. This bike is really good for bumps, so I'm generally not too concerned, but at least for the parts where, of course, that car behind me wants to come over here. Oh, what was I saying? Oh yeah, this bike does really good for bumps. And practice stopping at a reasonable speed.